Yo, yo, you already know who it is. It's your boy, MGFC, Ronnie Roney, the homie. And we are playing my favorite sports game of all time, which is Madden 2005. EA Sports. Big. Nah, I ain't gonna cap. I do miss NBA Street Volume 2 and NFL Street 1. Well, actually, 1 and 2 was fire. Anyways, Madden 05. So today we are going to do another example of what I call the Devin Hester experience. What's that? DHE. All right, shout out to my man Cole. He's one of the fastest receivers in Madden 05. Got 99 speed. Big shout out to Pops for getting me into Madden 1998. Shout out my big cousins. I ain't gonna put them names out there, but they know who they are because they had me on Madden on N64. Shout out to Moms for getting me systems. Shout out my coaches. Shout out my homies that taught me football, homies on the block. And and then big shout out to the OG homie from South Florida. I ain't talked to him in a minute, but he was my number one nemesis in Madden 05. We actually been playing Madden. We had started playing Madden, I think, in like 02 with Dante Cupper on the cover, and then 03 with Marshall Falk on the cover, and then of course 04, which was crazy. That was Vic's year, and then 05 Ray Lewis. We got into this. And we were pretty even throughout all those years. He typically would have like a slight edge on me because he had better knowledge of actual football. I didn't start playing football until like 10th grade, which was like 04, I think, is when I started playing football. I was playing out South Plantation. Shout out South Florida 305. Actually, not 54, but 95 for sure. But I got to call Big Bro too. I ain't talked to Big Bro in a minute. But yeah, so anyways. Yeah, shout out everybody. Shout out just the big homie. Actually, not the big homie. Well, technically, he is older than me. I think about it, but he can't really be like a big homie because we about the same age. I think he might be like 6 months older than me. But shout out to the Madden homie from South Florida. That's gonna be his name. Cause I ain't gonna put his name out there. But yeah. So the Madden homie, he was the first person to ever realize that it's not a good idea to try to tackle me in the open field. Because back in the day, shout out to the homies that played back in South Plain. Like, I think they were juniors and I was a freshman. And they had a Madden tournament, my first Madden tournament ever. And we had that Mr. Schroeder's class. Oh, damn. My bad, I put your name out there, Mr. S. But anyways, so the way they played it is so that way not everybody could pick the Falcons and just run with Vic. I think it was 04 when we played it. It was a 32-team situation, like where you had to pick a team out of the hat. You could change your playbook, but you had to play with a certain team. So that way you couldn't pick your own team and like it was trying to make it fair or whatever. So anyways, they used to play with the Patriots. And that's where I really learned scratching for real, what scratching was before, all this new Madden stuff. This Madden 05, all right? Back when you had two different turbo buttons. Turbo on offense is X and turbo on defense is circle. I ain't got no light right now. Oh, you can kind of see it, but whatever. So anyways, scratching is when you run in with a character and you go and you just stop on a dime and then go another direction. Or you can you do a little stutter step, you go, hey, 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 hey. You know what I'm saying? You go like that. You go, hey, hey. You know what I'm saying? You go like that. So basically, I was pretty good at that. I was probably in my neighborhood, I was hands down the best at doing that. That's the one thing I had better than the Madden homie. Like, he could still do it too, but he couldn't do it as better than me. Now, he was better using juke buttons. Like, for those who don't know, juke is L1 and R1 and spin in circle. So he was way better at doing that. And stiff arms, which is L2 and R2. And I was not about that life. I was all about the hand, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I beat most of the people except for him. He was the only person I really couldn't beat consistently with that tactic. So when it came to 05, though, 05 was a different breed. Like, we had hit stick, we had like different updated playmaker we do after the huddle, before the snap. So long story short, I had to do something that I never did to anybody else. I had to learn how to shake the computer because the Madden homie realized he took his pride and put his pride to the side. And was like, you know what? I ain't finna get the user tackle. I ain't finna get the user pick. That's what he was always about, user pick. As a matter of fact, I think that was his gamer tag was user picks only. And he used to get user picks too. Like it was, man, you had to be careful throwing the ball. I typically only threw the ball to the flats or curls against him, or maybe a drag, because otherwise I'm getting picked off. Like, it didn't matter who he was. He was on the DB, so he could be on the cornerback, he could be a free safety, strong safety. he was getting a pick. Shout out to the man. But anyways, also that's another thing too, is like I would use the run game a lot, because if you use tosses, then you can also utilize the shake situations. But again, he realized, he's like, you know what? I'm going to turn off my user tackle and not select the character that is tackling. I just realized we're kind of doing a mannequin challenge right now. ADHD. And so he literally took his pride, put it to the side, and did not select the computer one time. And I tried to do my little my little scratch, and I couldn't scratch away from the computer. And when that first time happened, he realized he struck gold, and he did that almost every time I was in open field. He just let the computer tackle me. And from that day forward, for like a week, I couldn't even beat him. Like, I could not. The games weren't even close anymore, because that was what gave me my edge, was my ability to shake him in the open field and turn like a 20 or like turn like a 5 to 10 yard pass or run into a touchdown. So since he did that, I don't know how long I spent. It's probably hours, days, weeks, definitely weeks. It was definitely weeks. I was in the mini camps, which is also like my favorite thing about Madden 05 is playing in the mini camps. I can play in the mini camps all day. But I don't know if I was in the All Madden mini camp or if I was in the All Pro. I don't remember. But all I remember is I'm over there trying different combinations of trying to juke left, juke right, trying to stiff arm, like trying to do stuff and like trying to shake the computer. Could not figure out how to do it. I couldn't do it. Didn't know how to do it. Didn't go through. So one day, I think it was maybe a Tuesday after I did my homework, because you gotta do your homework first before you can play the game, right? So I'm running, and I accidentally do what's called a light juke. For those who don't know, because it's PS2, right? PS2 was like one of the first controllers to have like pressure sensitive button situations, to where it would detect like a light press or a strong press. GameCube kind of had it too, but it was more so games would detect how many frames you held the button. I think I might turn the light on so y'all can see the controller. Hold on a sec. All right, so you kind of see the controller a little bit better now, even though you're going to see the little lights right there. That's why I turned the lights off, because I didn't want to see those lights in the corner, but we all good. So L1, R1, L2, R2, right? That's your stiff arms. These are your jukes. Now, like I said before, it used to be, I don't know if 04 or 05 started. I have to go back and look, but you couldn't light juke. I think I put light juke in 04. Maybe in 03, actually. No, I think it was 04. But where if you lightly pressed the shoulder buttons, the juke buttons, it would do this animation right here, right there. That's the light juke animation, right? That is the core, the very core, COAR, core principle of this technique. I like to call it a steak and shake, even though I named it later, thanks to my coach, homie. I don't even know what I called it back then. I think I just called it shaking the computer. Computers putin', you know what I'm saying? So what you do is, this is the inputs to do it, all right? And I also got a shout out to the homie on YouTube who actually has a video on it as well. All right, I'm just gonna break it down like this. So as you're running, all right, you have to make sure that you set up a angle. It typically works if you're running at a 45-degree angle this way, approximately 45-degree angle that way, or 45-degree angle that way. All right, and your defender is coming in at a equal or less angle, right? The angles are approximations, because sometimes it works in different measurements. And if you don't like angles, sorry, geometry is my favorite subject. Shout out to my 8th grade geometry teacher. She knows who she is. So as you're running, right, you're holding the analog stick to a certain direction. Holding sprint, X is sprint on offense, all right? You have to take the analog stick and go into the neutral position, so that way it stops moving like this. So you see, I'm holding the analog stick right, and when I stop, when I bring it to neutral, see how the screen stops moving? That's because I went into the neutral position. That's essentially what the shaking stutter steps are. It's just you not moving, right? So you have to, what close that, right? You have to input. It's like, I want to say it's like a 3 or 4 input. Holding X to sprint, all right? Now you could do this 2 different ways. All right, you can let go of X or you can not let go of X, or let go of sprint. All right, sometimes depending on if I get nervous, I might let it go. But all right, I don't remember which I did for this one. But anyways, the main thing you have to do is you have to go from holding analog stick to neutral. Once you are in neutral, all right, that's when you insert the light press. You have to do it almost instantaneously. You go to neutral, and as soon as you go to neutral, hit that light press. That's what I do right here, right there. That's the move. And if you do it correctly, you typically will see your character do like a little slide animation with their feet. See, that's where it's kind of like a little glitchy. All right, we're in slow motion, right? I think I just went into neutral, right? I just did. Now you're going to see me go into the light juke animation. Now I'm starting it now. Once the arms start, if you look at his arms, once the arms start to take in, it's right here now. This is starting the animation of the light juke because his arms are moving in. All right, and see how you see my feet? Look at my feet. I'm sliding. See the feet sliding? Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Can't stand that to get a hokey pokey. But all right, so once he gets into this animation, right? When this animation happens, I don't know why, I don't know how, I have no idea, but I just know what happens. The AI gets confused. Not all of them, but some of them, multiple AIs. It makes them think that you have changed, like it makes it think that you just transported, like Ultra Instinct, that you're not where you are. Like it thinks you're here, but now you're here. It thinks you're there, but now you're there. So watch. Now we're gonna see what it does to the AI. So really, this defender right here has the angle on me, all right, and should, like, at least be able to get close to me. But right here has the angle on me. He should definitely tackle me, or at least let me break the tackle or something, right? But because I do another steak and shake, see, that's steak and shake number 2. That's the number 1 steak and shake. This is number 2. Watch what happens. See this? As I'm steak and shaking, watch the defenders. All right, you see how he's turning to the right now? That's what the steak and shake is doing to him. The steak and shake is making him think that he needs to go over here to tackle me, even though I'm over here. And then once he realizes that, oh wait, he's over there, I'm already past him. And now he's behind me. And now he's trying to catch up to me, right? Now watch, I'm gonna do another steak and shake, all right? I do another steak and shake, he turns to the right again. All right, but I think on this time, there's another defender in front of me, if I'm not mistaken, that has an angle on me. Oh, wait, not yet. Nope, so I was just doing the steak and shake to get away from him, okay? I steak and shake again, right? Now, as I'm running, this is the big one right here. These two players both have angles on me, right? This player right here should overrun this angle in order to get some backup from this player. But because I steak and shake, again, I'm steak and shaking right now, it turns him to the right. It makes him change his angle to maybe like a 30-degree difference. He should be taking an angle over here to the left just to get in front of me. And instead, it makes him take an angle to the right. And now he's behind me as well. And then look, see? Now, after the steak and shake animation is done, he realizes, oh no, he's over there. So it makes him turn left on a dime. He instantly, starts to turn left. But again, now he's behind me. That's why it's really important to have a fast player when you do this, because once they're behind you, they ain't catching you. All right, unless they Champ Bailey. Shout out Champ Bailey. All right, now we're going to get to the MVP of this play. All right, this player right here, Lott. Shout out Ronnie Lott. All right, for those who don't know who Ronnie Lott is, look up Ronnie Lott. All right, this player right here holds this block for almost the entirety of the play. All right, I ain't gonna lie. I thought that he was gonna let it go. I thought that was the kicker, actually, because usually the kicker is the last person you have to get past, right? And so I was prepared to try to maybe go this way to the left, because usually when you break off, you might not know, when you break off of a block, they usually go to the right or they go to the left. And because it looks like he's more on the right, I was preparing to go left. But I said, please hold the block. Just please hold the block. And he did. And once I go past him, then he comes off the block. If this would have happened as I was running past him, I would have probably tried to stutter step or like maybe even just change my direction and run this way and get behind my blocker again. But since he held the block like a champ, I'm gone. Ain't nobody finna catch him. Nobody. I don't even know who the fastest person on their defense is. I don't even know why I'm playing the Panthers right now. I forgot why I decided. Oh, because I saw their record look kind of decent, and I realized that I spent the majority of my game of my later young adult life just playing the Patriots because they were the best team in the game. And I just wanted that challenge because they do have glitches in the game that only affect Brady. So, and we're gonna get into that later. That'll be the next Madden 101. Actually, this ain't even 101. This is 117 because this is way advanced. But anyways, big shout out to Lot. We're going to actually give Lot his whole, look at this. Mind you, this is the beginning of the play. I caught the ball, I think, at about like the 1 yard line, I think. Or actually, I think I might have caught in the end zone. I did because I like to get that Devin Hester effect. So I'll return everything. If they don't kick it on a touchback, I'm trying to return that joint, all right? So, the beginning of the play, Lot is engaged in this block. Watch this. This is art. Yeah. Get back. Huh? The whole play, until I passed him, is when he lets go of this block. And you know what's so funny about this? Most people don't know about this, but I was a football player. I still am to this day, like mentally, but physically, hell no, I ain't finna do nothing like that. All right, I played 10th grade JV, all right, because I didn't want to play freshman year. I wanted to focus on school freshman year. But 10th grade, I tried out for the team. I made it. And the only reason why I made it, because even though I was short, was because I was fast. I had pretty good hands and good hand-eye coordination, and I loved to block. I was probably the only wide receiver in the entire state of Florida and the South that likes to block. I don't even want to go out for the slant or for the curl. Even though that was my only reception the whole season was that curl. I could have had a bomb, but I couldn't. I've lost the ball in the lights, but that's a different story. But yo, I love blocking. I just love blocking, and man, thanks a lot. Shout out Lot for blocking like this, bro. This was a good play. Let's just run it back from the beginning. Let's see how long this play is. It starts at 17:40. Go. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. One more time. You know what I'm saying? Block. We stopped at, it was at 40, 50, 51. Wow. 12 seconds. Ain't that something? Peace. Love. Homie.